بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. كلية الإمام الكاظم، أقسام الديوانية، قسم اللغة الإنجليزية، مادة علم اللغة، المرحلة الثالثة، تدريس محمد حسين بدري. Today we are going to talk about chapter number 3. Okay, in chapter number 3 we are going to talk about syntax. We come to these concepts one by one. We have started with phonetics, phonology, morphology, okay, and now we have syntax. Let's see what is syntax, what is deep structure and surface structure, what's generative grammar. These three things we are going to talk about today. So here we moved from the general categories and concepts of traditional grammar to more specific methods of describing the structure of phrases and sentences. When we concentrate, when we focus on the structure and ordering of components within a sentence, we are studying the syntax of language. So this is syntax. Syntax means what? Means when we focus on the structure and ordering of components within a sentence. Okay? In other words, when we have certain words or when certain words are arranged, organized, put together to form sentences. What is the origin of the word syntax? The word syntax comes from Greek. Okay, many words in English language have their origin in Greek. So the word syntax here what comes from Greek, and it literally means what? Putting together, arrangement. See, as I said, when words are put together, are arranged to form longer sentences. This is what this is, syntax. When we set out to provide an analysis of syntax of language, we try to adhere to the all and only criteria. What does it mean, all and only criteria? Okay, all and only criteria. This is in syntax. All and only criteria. We will know what is this criteria, and we will have examples about this criteria. It is very important. This means the criteria, all and only criteria, from its name, all and only. This means that our analysis when we want to analyze something, for example, noun phrase, verb phrase, or when we want to put rules, our analysis must account for all grammatically correct phrases and sentences. See? Must account for all grammatically correct phrases and sentences. This is all. And what is only? And only those grammatically correct phrases and sentences in whatever language we are analyzing. You see? This is the criteria. This is all and only. All sentences, all phrases. Okay? And only should be correct. And only those grammatically correct phrases and sentences in whatever language we are analyzing. In other words, we will understand it. In other words, if we write rules for the creation of well-formed structures, if we want to make rules, for example, we have to check that those rules, when applied logically, will not or won't also lead to all formed structures. You see? So when we have rules, these rules, what? We have to be sure that these rules should not lead to old form structures. Old form structures means any grammatical structures, any grammatical sentences. Okay? Sometimes we say well-formed and ill-formed. Well-formed, it means grammatical and all forms, it means what? It means any grammatical sentences or structures. Structures, rules here. Okay? This is what we mean by all and only criteria. We will have example if you want to understand it more and more. For example, we might say informally that in English we put a preposition near before a noun. Near London. Where do you live? I live near London. For example, near London. To form a prepositional phrase. So this is rule. When we want to form a rule, this is rule. Near London. Near preposition plus London. However, if we use this as a rule, if we say that this is a rule of the grammar to create structures, is it applicable to others? Is it right to say that we put what? We put preposition plus noun like near London. Is it applicable for others or what? Let's see. However, if we use this as a rule, general rule, okay, of the grammar to create structures, we will end up producing phrases like near tree or with dog. What here we have this asterisk and a grammatical. These do not seem to be grammatically correct, so we mark them with an asterisk. Asterisk means here any grammatical star. Nejma. We clearly need to be more careful in forming this rule. We have to be what? More careful. If we want to form a rule, we have to be what? To be more careful. We might have more success with a rule stating that we put a preposition before a noun phrase, not just a noun. Okay, so to make it correct, okay, to make it more applicable, to be what? Grammatical and other phrases or sentences, we have to say noun phrase, not just a noun. You see? Remember we talked about noun phrase in chapter number 7. For example, here we said if you remember that noun phrase can consist of proper noun like London or a pronoun you, a combination of an article a, the, a noun tree, dog, so that the revised rule can produce these well-formed structures. Near London. With you. You see? Near tree. Near tree. With the dog. You see? So we can say that we put it not just with noun, with a pronoun. So now we put here. Oh. This is what we mean by all and only. All grammatical and only this, that will be what? Grammatically correct with all. So here we say near London, this is noun, but you here is what? You is pronoun. Tree is what? Noun phrase. Article plus what? Plus noun. With the dog, what? Article plus dog, which is noun. But here it is wrong. Why wrong? Near tree. Here it is what? Noun. We need what? Article. Here we need what? We need article. You see? This is what we mean by this rule. All and only criteria. Okay? Here we have another explanation. When we have an effective rule such as a prepositional phrase in English consists of a preposition followed by a noun phrase, this is general rule. We can imagine extremely large number of English phrases. When we put this general, this like an umbrella rule for creating noun phrases, prepositional phrase, we will what? We will have large number of English phrases that could be produced using this rule. Okay? If we put this rule. In fact, the petitional number is unlimited. Okay? Unlimited, not limited. This reflects another goal of syntactic analysis. This is related to syntactic analysis, which is to have a small and finite limited set of rules. So when we have limited rules, certain rules, okay, finite rules, small set of rules, small group of rules. Like for example, this rule, noun phrase, prepositional phrase, that will be capable of producing a large infinitive, potentially infinitive, unlimited number of well-formed structures. You see, limited number of rules can create unlimited number of sentences. Okay, like this one. When we say here this one, that we have what? We have preposition plus noun phrase. So we have what? Near London, with you, near a tree, with the dog, and so on. See here? Okay. Like for example, when we have this structure, subject, verb, object. This is what rule. How many sentences can we get from this rule? How many? Imagine. 10, 20, 1000, unlimited number of sentences. So this is what we mean by what? Limited number of rules can produce large, unlimited number of well-formed structures. This small and finite set of rules is sometimes described as generative grammar. This is the meaning of generative grammar from its name, generative grammar. Generative grammar is coined by Noam Chomsky. It's proposed by Noam Chomsky. Okay, Noam Chomsky, a linguist, and he's not only linguist. He's a pragmatist. He is a mathematician. Okay, even he is a politician nowadays. He's still alive, Noam Chomsky. So he has what? He has created this term generative grammar. With generative grammar, it means what? It means that we have to create a limited number of sentences, a limited number of grammatical sentences with limited number of grammatical rules. Okay, so from its name, generative. Okay, generate, create, see, make. It can be used to generate, to produce sentence structure and not just describe them. I hope this idea is clear. This type of grammar should also be capable of revealing the basis of two other phenomena. So we have two another phenomena within generative grammar, or we can say transformational generative grammar. We will talk about this in details in this chapter. How superficially different sentences. This is very important. This question, we will have the answer here. How some superficially, superficially, literally, يعني ظاهريا. How superficially different structures are closely related. Okay? And second, how some superficially similar. Superficially they are similar, but in fact they are what? They are different. So we have what? We have here deep and surface structure. Deep structure and surface structure. They are very, very important terms. They are both within the transformational generative grammar. All of them are what? Created by or coined by Noam Chomsky. They were what? Created by Noam Chomsky in 1960. In 1960. Deep structure and surface structure. Okay? Even Hooked talked about them before Noam Chomsky in 1958 and he mentioned that we have deep grammar and surface grammar. But Noam Chomsky, after 2 years, he suggested these two terms, deep structure and surface structure. You see? So what is deep structure and what is surface structure? They are very important, and the whole chapter is about these two terms. Here, two superficially different sentences. They are here what? They are different. Structures are different. Charlie broke the window. This is active. The window was broken to Charlie, by Charlie. Okay? Charlie broke the window and the window was broken by Charlie. In traditional grammar, the first is called active sentence, focusing on what Charlie did, and the second is a passive sentence, focusing on the window and what happened to it. What is the difference between them? Do you find any difference between them? Here you have what? Superficial. Superficially. So the distinction between them is what? Is a difference in their surface structure. Let's see what is surface structure and what's deep structure. From its meaning, from its name, when you say surface structure, surface, explicit, okay, overt. Thus, the different syntactic forms they have as individual English sentences. Okay, the different syntactic forms, they are different in form. So the surface is different. Okay, as we said here at this point, if you remember, superficially different sentences, but they are related. Okay, so superficial difference in form. Thus, the different syntactic forms they have as individual English sentences. However, this superficial difference in form disguises. Okay, disguises means hides, يخفي. Disguises the fact that the two sentences are very close. Okay, they are very closely related, even identical at some less superficial level. This is the meaning of surface structure. Surface structure, okay, this is the surface structure that the two sentences are what? Identical. This superficial difference in form disguises the fact that the two sentences are very closely related, even identical at some less superficial level. But superficially they are different. Structure is different. So this is surface structure. Another type, which is deep structure. What is deep structure? This other underlying level, underlying, hidden. Okay. كنا هناك surface. Okay, here what it is, unseen, underlying level, implicit, covered, all have the same meaning here. So this other underlying level were the basic components. What are the basic components? For example, noun phrase, the basic components, noun phrase plus verb plus noun phrase, shared by the two sentences, can be represented. It's called their deep structure. Okay, here in the sentence, what do we have? Noun phrase, verb, and noun phrase, verb, noun phrase. So this is the deep structure. Can be represented. It's called deep structure. What is then deep structure? Deep structure is an abstract level. Abstract, from its name, abstract, something unseen, something hidden, of structural organization in which all the elements determining structural interpretation are represented. The same deep structure can be the source of many other surface structures. The same deep structure can be the source of many other surface structures, such as it was Charlie who broke the window. And was the window broken by Charlie? You see, it was Charlie who broke the window. And was the window broken by Charlie? In short, grammar must be capable of showing how a single underlying abstract representation can become different surface structures. Okay, we will have examples to explain the difference between these two terms, surface structure and deep structure. Structural ambiguity. What is structural ambiguity? From its names, we have as if ambiguity in structure. Ambiguous. Let's say we have two distinct deep structure. Here we have example. I will read this example because it will be easy for you. This example, Annie bumped into a man with an umbrella. This is what this structure, surface structure. You can surface structure. Annie, this is a name of woman. Bumped. It means knocked. Okay, whacked. Knocked. ضربت into a man with an umbrella. This is surface structure. This sentence, it is what it has, or it is an example of structural ambiguity. Why it is ambiguous? Well, here we have two distinct, two deep structures for this sentence. Two meaning. Read it. Annie bumped into a man with an umbrella. When, two meaning. When express the idea that Annie had an umbrella and she bumped into a man with it. This is one meaning. It has two meanings. When we say it is ambiguous, it means it has more than one meaning. So, Annie had an umbrella and she bumped into a man with it, with the umbrella. Okay? She has an umbrella in her hand. وجه هذا سواله مثلا حكاية مر من يمها شالت الامبريلا طقت على راسها. She bumped into a man. So this is the first meaning. The another meaning, the other expresses the idea that Annie bumped into a man and the man happened to be carrying an umbrella. Okay, so Annie bumped into a man with an umbrella. يعني man who has umbrella. يعني هي واقفة واحد مر من يمها شايل umbrella. حكى له حكاية سوت له ضربتها. So he has the umbrella, not the woman. You see here? Okay, for example, يقول لك look at that man. يقول لي من عندهم يقول لك the man with umbrella. يعني to me the man who has the umbrella, who carries the umbrella. So the difference between these two sentences, the first one what? The first one that the woman carries the umbrella, but the second sentence the man carries the umbrella. You see? So this is sentence Annie bumped into a man with an umbrella. It has two deep structures, two deep meanings. Surface structure, this is surface structure, the same surface structure, but the deep meaning two. It has two distinct underlying. This is this structure. It has two distinct underlying hidden interpretation meanings يعني تفسيرين that have to be represented differently in deep structure. كلمة تخلين بدي structure راح يختلفن. They are different in deep structure. هي subject, okay, verb, noun phrase, okay, هي subject, noun phrase, prepositional, complement. See, the second different, to be, carrying, umbrella. Here we have another example. The comedian Groucho Marx knew how to have fun with structural ambiguity in the film Animal Crackers. He first says, I once shoot an elephant in my pajamas. I shoot an elephant in my pajamas. This is ambiguous. This surface structure, this surface sentence, ambiguous. Why? It has more than one meaning. Then it follows with how he got into my pajamas. How he got into my... He once shot an elephant in my pajamas. واحد يقول elephant شلون يطب بالبيجامة. So it has two meaning here. One meaning إنه he wears pajamas. So he shoot an elephant in my pajamas. He wears a pajamas. Okay. Let me read it and explain it. here in the non-funny interpretation, so it has funny interpretation and non-funny interpretation. Part of the underlying structure of the first sentence could be something: I shot an elephant while I was in my pajamas. يعني while I wear my pajama or pajamas, I shoot an elephant. This is the clear meaning. It's okay meaning, we understand it and it's acceptable. Okay, non-funny. But another funny meaning in the other funny meaning, ho interpretation, part of the underlying structure would be something like: I shot an elephant which was in my pajamas. Which was as if the elephant was in my pajamas here. Okay? So there are two different underlying structures with the same surface structure. اوكي هاي خلاصة كل هنا. You see, two different underlying شنو يعني? It means deep, underlying deep structures with the same surface structures. Okay. Also, we have phrases can be ambiguous. For example, small boys and girls. Small boys and girls. The underlying interpretation can be small boys and small girls, or small boys and all girls. Okay, etc. I will give you another examples. I chose some examples here for you. She loves her dog more than her husband. She loves her dog more than her husband. To make it close for you. Yeah. Okay now? Yes. She loves her dog more than her husband. When you say she loves her dog more than her husband, it has two meanings here. Here this is structure, what surface structure has two underlying deep interpretation. First, she loves her dog more than she loves her husband. يعني تحب كلب أكثر من رجله. Okay. واحد يقول ليش ما نقول he loves his dog more than his wife. Okay. So she loves her dog more than she loves her husband. It means that she loves her dog a lot more than she loves her husband. Or she loves her dog more than her husband loves her dog. You see here, complement we have. Difference. More than her husband loves her dog. Meaning is different. يعني الكلب تحب الكلب أكثر من محبة زوجها للكلب. Okay? She loves her dog more than her husband loves her dog. But here, it may be no. She loves the dog more than her husband. She hates her husband. She tells him, I love the dog more than you. Even the dog, I love him more than you. Okay? Sometimes we can use him, her for dogs. They are very close. See, another example here. They are entertaining girls. They are entertaining girls. This surface structure has two interpretation, two underlying interpretation. When the girls are doing fun things so that they have a good time. Here between brackets, they refers to the entertaining girls. إنهن يرجعون. They are entertaining girls. They entertaining girls. Okay? They are entertaining girls. يعني the girls are entertaining. They are doing fun things, so they have good time. So they are entertaining girls. Or when we say they are entertaining girls, they refers to people, maybe animals, things. يعني مثلا نقول مثلا عندنا اكو بنات مثلا يحبن الكاس قطط، فيقول they are entertaining girls. ونسنهن لأن القطط وكذا they are entertaining. أو هاي الأشياء مثلا موبايل كذا مثلا، أو أشياء ممكن يعني بنات يستعملونها أو الرجال they are entertaining boys. Okay. أو people أشخاص مثلا ممثلين comedians because we use a pronoun, that's why it is ambiguous. They refer maybe they refers to what? To people, some people, some persons. Okay, some boys are entertaining girls, some animals are entertaining girls, so certain things are entertaining girls. I hope it is very clear, and at the end of the chapter you have some examples, you can read them. They are very, very important and very, very important. Okay, if you have any question you can ask. Thank you so much.